So Monster Hunter World is going to be the hottest thing in a few days. We thought we'd open a discussion in regards to the possibility, or if there is a possibility, of Monster Hunter World releasing on Switch eventually. Right, so
Monster Hunter World was announced around, what was it, summer?
It was the previous E3. And it was like the hottest thing because it was like a huge reinvention of the series. The next step.
The next true step of the series.
Yeah, not Monster Hunter 5, the next true step. Right? It's like open world and everything.
But it's like, if you think about it, it is Monster Hunter 5.
But the platforms that they announced before were PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The PC being delayed to better optimize it for that experience. But it's like, what does Nintendo Switch get, right? And we shouldn't be complaining, right? Because everyone's like, oh yeah, everything should release on Nintendo Switch, and it could get annoying, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially considering like how, like, for the most part, like, fans are split between, like, most of the time Sony and Nintendo. It's like Monster Hunter fans have been waiting for a true Monster Hunter on their
Sony system.
Yeah, but it's like now we're in that position. It's like, come on, you got fans over here too.
Yeah, they did. It's kind of weird because they announced and released in Japan Monster Hunter X Double Cross is what they call it for Switch in Japan, right?
And I remember when they announced it and they were like, the stocks went up.
Yeah, and then they announced Monster Hunter World and it's like, okay, why? It's like you're gonna try to cannibalize the possible sales of the Switch,
and that's probably the reason why America doesn't get it yet, quote unquote.
We're hoping it does. I mean, Monster Hunter Gen, we did enjoy our time with Monster Hunter Gen on 3DS.
But going back into Monster Hunter World, it's coming out in a few days. And we're wondering whether or not it will truly ever come to the Nintendo system.
Yeah, because like if you think about it this way, they're like trying to treat the two things as two different experiences. So it's like the Nintendo Switch owners had they call it the classic experience within the right. But why would it be possible for it to release on Nintendo Switch?
Well, first of all, I firmly believe that it won't. But let's be hypothetical, right? Let's say it would be possible.
I mean, just looking at okay, so it uses the MT framework is what the engine they're using, and it's compatible on Switch, but it did take him a while to port. It's possible. No, we're not gonna say it's possible. It's certain that it's gonna be, if they release it, it's gonna be a downgraded experience.
Yeah, because if we look at the game,
it looks good. I don't think the Switch could do that.
And the fact that it's open world, I mean, you could say the same thing as like Breath of the Wild does it, but even then it has some issues.
Yeah, it's the Breath of the Wild is at 720 30 frames per second, and then there was some stutter at the start, but with patches it got updated.
No, we want to be optimistic, like it would get ported, but
yeah, just at least 720 30, but most people want the
good experience of
the good visuals and I mean the Switch. There's a reason why fans are always asking, "Is this coming to Switch?" Right? It gets you think it gets annoying, right? And it doesn't, but you just don't understand unless you actually played on the Switch. The duality of the system itself, though you could play it on the console on your off time, but if you want to continue it, you could just take it out of the dock and take it with you. That really helps with any game, really, like with any experience. Like if there's like RPGs, for example, right? They're text heavy, and you could like take it with you to continue that experience on the go. And with Monster Hunter, with the connectivity, you can play with like maybe, don't do this, kids, but maybe you could play with your friends at work or something. but it would be nice for Monster Hunter World to
be on Switch, but at the same time, it's like, do you think maybe they're just waiting until this passes and then to be like, oh, I think we've kept them long enough hovering the game over. We'll bring Double Cross over here.
There's always the possibility that if they won't release Double Cross over here, they could probably be. Because, look, let's be honest, Capcom wasn't on the boat at the start of Nintendo Switch. They came in late because they were like, they weren't optimistic with it, and now they're like playing the late game. And they got a lot of shit for that. But they keep going on and on saying that when they create like Monster Hunter, they cater it to the current systems, to like it's a new experience for the system. They optimize it for the system. So it's possible that the quote unquote real sequel, Monster Hunter 5.
It's like that's a debate because it's like no, Monster Hunter World, it's not a spinoff, and it's true, it's not a spinoff, but it's like it doesn't have a number on it. Because it's like to us, it's like it's different because it's like Monster Hunter open world. That's the next step. But we'll probably get it like how it was before.
Yeah, just they'd probably like tweak it a lot more because they did add like in 4 they added like the new verticality mechanic where you could like jump and mount monsters, and maybe they'll use the experience they have with World and see what worked there to better optimize the classic experience.
And at the same time, how the Switch is mobile, maybe cater to that as well.
Yeah. I think that's like the major points, right? Because it's like,
I mean, like think about it like this. There was a lot of fans that played Monster Hunter on the 3DS, right? And it's like, oh sure, it's like it's not as good as a controller, and I agree, it's not as good as a controller, or on the TV, right? But how are you gonna get rid of the mobile aspect when for a lot of people that was like the main focal point of playing Monster Hunter because you could play on the go and stuff? So it's like, how's that gonna work now?
Yeah, Monster Hunter. There's a reason the stock rolls with Monster Hunter Switch because it just gives more opportunity for communication. It just makes the main probably the main feature of the game, and it expands the system itself expands upon it, and that just means more people will play. More
playtime too.
Yeah, more people will play. We're like, oh, what's that? Don't sleep on the Switch, man. It somehow has the aspect of making most games better. I'm not saying all of them because
just gotta save ourselves just in case of BS and whatever.
Yeah, we didn't say 100%. We said it makes 99.9% games better. But I think we're gonna leave it at that. We'd like to hear your thoughts surrounding Monster Hunter World, if you guys are gonna get it, and what system, and
whether or not you think this game would ever be ported to Switch, or do you think it would be Monster Hunter that's like a separate thing from Monster Hunter World,
like a Monster Hunter Switch, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And if you get the game, Monster Hunter World, tell us what you like about it. We'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, maybe hopefully one day we'll get it too.
If we're still kicking the butt. But jokes aside. So, we'd like to thank you all so much for joining us for this discussion. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and stay in touch with what we do. We also have our Twitter, various social media sites in the description below. And let us know what you'd like to see from us next. So, without that said, guess what, everybody's going to knock you.
Lights out. Bye.